And we are now live on YouTube.
Thank you, Mark. Well, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Metzger, and I am the chair of the City of Albany Industrial Development Agency in connection with the project, which is the subject of this public hearing. I hear myself echoing. Hold on 1 minute, please. Okay. Today, we are holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record relating to the involvement of the agency with a project for the benefit of 1211 Western Avenue Property Associates LLC, a New York State limited liability corporation. I will now ask Tom Conacetti, who will serve as the public hearing officer for the IDA today, to make certain preliminary remarks with respect to the project and then start the public hearing. Tom, thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, and good afternoon. Due to the novel coronavirus pandemic, the public hearing today is being conducted via the Zoom video and teleconference platform in accordance with Executive Orders 20210 and 20215 issued by Governor Cuomo. The proposed project includes the acquisition, construction, and installation of the project facility at 1211 Western Avenue, and the granting of certain financial assistance in connection with the construction of a 6-story, approximately 190,968 square foot mixed-use multifamily and commercial retail complex containing approximately 136 residential apartment units and approximately 1,840 square feet of commercial retail space on the ground floor. The project will also contain an internal parking garage for approximately 150 vehicles. An existing 30,000 square foot vacant commercial office structure on site will be demolished. The financial assistance sought includes exemptions from certain sales and use taxes, real property taxes, real estate transfer taxes, and mortgage recording taxes. Copies of the notice of this public hearing are available on our website at www.albanyida.com and available upon request. I would like to note for the record that per the notice, which provided for written comments to be submitted to the agency, we have received 9 written comments prior to the hearing, which have been shared with the IDA board and will be entered into the formal record. If time allows, we will also read the comments into the record today. I will now apologize. Now, unless there is any objection, I am going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of this public hearing and instead request that the full text of the notice be inserted into the record. I will also note that general information on the agency's general authority and public purpose are contained in a separate statement and will be entered into the record. Before we start the public hearing, I would first like to introduce the project applicant and ask them to make a brief presentation with respect to the proposed project. Is there a representative from the project that is going to speak today?
Yes, it's John Corbo from DMG Investments. Thank you very much for the introduction. We're looking to do a multifamily property over on 1211 Western Avenue.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, John, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Yes, Jeff.
Sorry, we had technical difficulties. This is Jeff Amengual. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for DMG Investments. We thank the board for allowing us to speak at this meeting. And we thank Tom for going through the highlights of the project. Obviously, it's a major investment for us in Albany. It's our second investment in Albany. In addition to the number of units that we have, it should also be pointed out that we're allocating 7 units for affordable housing. We believe that the retail space that's going to be provided will be a great advancement for the community. The facility also has amenity space, including a gym and a lounge area, both open air and indoor lounge space. And we think that this is going to be a beautiful addition to the community at large.
Thank you. At this time, I will now move to open this public hearing. The time now is 12:11 p.m. By way of operating rules, members of the public who pre-registered on the website will be called on in the order of their registration. If you did not pre-register but would like to make a public comment today, please hit *9 on your phone, which will alert us of your interest by virtually raising your hand, and we will add you to the list of speakers. If you did not pre-register, we will call you up to speak by reading the last 4 digits of your phone number. If at any time you have technical questions or issues, please call 518-434-2532, extension 14. And I'll repeat that again, 518-434-2532, extension 14, during this public hearing, and we will assist you. We ask that everyone mute your phone and turn off your video camera unless you have been called on to speak. Once you have been recognized to speak, please clearly state your name, address, and affiliation for the record prior to making a public comment. In order to accommodate all speakers today, each speaker will have 5 minutes for public comment. We will notify you when there is 1 minute remaining. A record of this public hearing will be prepared and reviewed by members of the agency in connection with consideration of the proposed project. A copy of the record of this public hearing will be presented to the mayor of the city of Albany and members of the agency. Again, the purpose of this public hearing is not to field questions, but to solicit public comment on the proposed project. We ask that all members of the board, speakers, and members of the public observe proper decorum today. Any statement made during the public hearing shall not involve personal, impertinent, or slanderous attacks on individuals. Moreover, the use of profane, inflammatory, threatening, vulgar, or disparaging language on racial or ethnic slurs will not be tolerated. Any individual who disregards this guidance or conducts themselves in an inappropriate manner while addressing the board will be removed and forfeit their opportunity to address the board today. Again, I'd like to note for the record that we have received 9 comments per the public notice. And again, we will, if time allows, we will attempt to read those into the record today. They will be added to the record. I will now refer to the list of pre-registered speakers to identify those who wish to comment on either the nature and location of the project facility or the proposed financial assistance being contemplated. And the first speaker I have is Vincent Ragosu. Hi, Vincent. I see you on Zoom.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, thank you. I guess being up in age, this new technology is really, truthfully, is not for me. But thank you and giving me the opportunity to talk on the IDA, which is the Western Avenue property. So again, my file of Word is on file for you people, because I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I think probably when this is all said and done, some of the categories that I address will be also addressed by other people. I don't believe that we should give this company, DMG, finance at this particular time. I think that the IDA has to look over the application and look at the many errors that are on on that application. And one of them is on page 3, which says that the annual salary starts at $43,965, higher than the $145,000 for the 4 employees that they state that we're going to hire. And if you do the math, it comes out to be $36,250 and not the $43,965 that they said. They also said that they were building this building, which the gentleman just said housing, but this is we'll say upscale housing / dormitory. It says a distressed area. Well, the IDA application cites the area as highly distressed. The consideration of that category, which is the results for a large census tract, cannot be applied to a residential and light commercial area within which the most adjacent residential property generate annual tax revenue in excess of what this proposal will generate. And the financial capacity and worthlessness, DMG has been evaluated by Wall Street analysts and found to be highly tremendous position given to the mass debt level that they have. In simple terms, they hold a low investment rating as a result of having total assets and equity positions being well below their current debt level. In brief, it requires to liquidate today, they would be underwater. And so, there's other things, and again, I'm not going to indicate it, but I will indicate the last thing on the file that they had to fill out. And it says false or misleading information. The applicant understands that submission of any knowingly false or knowingly misleading information may lead to the immediate termination of any financial assistance and the reimbursement of an amount equal to all or part of any tax exemptions claimed by reasons. And with that, I want to thank you, and I appreciate this. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk on 1211 Western Avenue.
Thank you. Tom?
I muted myself. Thank you for your comments. And our next speaker is Thomas O'Connor. Tom,
He's muted as well. Excuse me, you're on mute. We cannot hear you.
Tom, we're going to go to the next speaker, and then we'll come back to you, if that's okay. The next speaker is Tim Carl.
Maybe we should all unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good. How you doing? I'm Tim Carl. I'm a property owner in the city of Albany. I have a property on North Allen Street, three-family property. And I'm in support of this project because I feel it'll bring in revenue to the city, which is much needed as a homeowner and taxpayer. I think we need development. This encourages development, so I'm in support of the project.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. We're going to go back to Thomas O'Connor. I can't hear you. It's not working. I apologize. You're just so you know, you're not muted on our end.
Tom, can we come back?
Mm-hmm. So at this time, I want to remind folks on the line that if you do wish to participate today, please, and you dialed in, just please hit *9 on your phone. That will virtually raise your hand, and we will take note of that and add you to the speaker list. I'm going to give everyone a minute in case there's someone that wishes to speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there's a bit of an echo.
Yeah.
I can't hear you now.
Is that better?
There's still an echo. I apologize.
Okay.
Tom, did he send a letter in?
Yes, Tom, we do
Shelby.
have a letter.
Shall we read his letter?
Can't hear you.
You might just want to call in and then stop the video feed. That's probably getting the feedback from your computer speakers.
Tom, if it's okay with you, I do have a letter from you. Would you like me to read the letter into the record today? Okay, that's a yes. Okay, Tom, we'll come back to you. We do have another speaker that raised their hand. So I'm going to call on the phone number with the last four digits of 4693. Again, just before you speak, just please state your name, address, and affiliation for the record. Thank you.
We can't hear you.
4693. Hi there. The person with the phone number of 518-469-4693. You're welcome to come to the virtual podium.
Tom, can you hear me now?
Yes. Hello.
Perfect. Must have been the other device. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I'm Tom O'Connor. I'm the Vice President for the Capital Region Chamber. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present the Chamber's position. As you know, the Capital Region Chamber is the largest chamber in the region. We have over 2,900 members that employ 150,000 throughout the region. So today I want to express the Chamber's full support of both the Dakota project as well as DMG Investments request for financial assistance that is before the IDA. We believe that this project will take a currently vacant commercial building and transform it into a vibrant mixed-use multifamily with retail. I think that is important to the community to have that. Also, it will allow the DMG to go forward with this project, which again is important to the community. I think what our region really thrives on is diversity, in making sure that we have diversity in both the retail that we encourage as well as the housing stock that we provide to our community members. I think it makes the region more attractive to have that. On a personal note, I lived in that neighborhood, went to School 27 when it was School 27. And I can remember when you were looking to walk to retail, you either had Stewart's, Nantistas, or you had to walk to Stuyvesant Plaza. And this neighborhood has transformed. And I think what developers have done is they have brought things that the community actually needs. And I think this project is a reflection of that. So I would say, from a personal perspective, having lived and worked in that neighborhood, I see the benefit to the entire community. Yes, there will be some neighbors that don't want it, but there are also members of that community that do. And I think future members of this community, it will be attractive. So with that, thank you. Again, I would, as the vice president of the chamber supports this, and we would respectfully request your approval of DMG's request. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, I'm going to call on the person with the last 4 digits of 4693 to speak. I'm going to unmute your phone as well. And while we're waiting, if anyone here would like to speak, please again hit *9 on your phone and you will be added to the queue. I'll try one more time. The person with the phone number 518-469-4693. I know you had raised your hand. If you'd like to speak, you're welcome to do so at this time. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak today? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna unmute everyone, and if you do wish to speak, just please let us know. Okay, I have attempted to unmute everyone. Or I've asked everyone to unmute. Is there anybody that wishes to speak today? Just gonna give it one more chance. If you are dialed in, again, please hit *9 on your phone, which will alert us of your interest in speaking, or just let us know that you wish to speak. Okay. I'm going to move on to some of the written comments. Again, notice of this public hearing indicated that written comments could be addressed to the agency. The agency prior to this public hearing received 9 written comments, which will be added to the formal record. And so at this time, if time allows by the board, we would like to read into the record written comments that have been received. Chair, is it okay if I read some of the comments into the record today?
Please.
Thank you. Okay, so the first written comment that we have is from Amy Donnelly. And she writes, I am writing today regarding the proposed 1211 Western Avenue project and its request for financial assistance through the Albany IDA. Please read my comments at the public hearing set for Wednesday, August 12th. The mission statement of the Albany IDA is stated as assist in the enhancement and diversity of the economy of the city of Albany by acting in support of projects in the city that create and or retain jobs and or promote private sector investment, utilizing the statutory powers of the agency as set forth under the provisions of the laws of the state of New York. The job creation numbers for this project is negligible. Under your guidelines of 4 to 100 new job positions, the remaining outcome upon project completion will barely create 6 new positions, the majority of which will be at minimum wage level. To reach only for the very minimum of level of job creation fails to substantiate it for a true economic benefit to our community. Although this project has a perceived local advantage, in reality, it is placed in an already saturated market of residential high-density new construction, which also creating no significant increase in jobs once construction phases are complete. The result is sameness and repetition without gain tax advantage to our city. How specifically would this project foster economic diversity on any level? It is also my understanding that residential developments are precluded from pilot programs. Although there will be a minimal amount of square footage dedicated to commercial use, 90% of tax relief will be financed on residential usage with absolutely no economic gain to Albany citizens. Financial incentives gained, however, by the developer will far outweigh public benefit if this project is approved and will undermine the said intent of your agency's mission. Therefore, I am requesting that you deny financial assistance to 1211 Western Avenue Property Associates, LLC. Thank you, Amy Donnelly. Okay. The next letter I have is from Janet Dwyer Stutzman, and it states, Dear IDA members, I am writing to urge you to delay the approval of the tax abatement requested by the developers of 1211 Western Avenue until you can satisfy those concerned residents of the city of Albany who have serious doubts as to the veracity of the claims, statements, and plans of the developers. Once again, residents find themselves asking for due diligence from their elected officials to protect their financial investments, to protect the tax base that they have supplied for decades, and to protect their quality of life and environment. It cannot seem possible that you have a full understanding of the negative impact your approval over these oversized tax abatements has on the city of Albany and its residents. It is unclear that such large abatements actually benefit our city. It seems quite evident, considering the state of our city's budget, that they do not. There's too little effort put into truly independent evaluation of these proposals before approval, with a disingenuous lack of challenge to contractor protestations of need and casual glorification of jobs supplied and rentals fulfilled. There is a further undermining of the tax base benefit by the lack of independent evaluation upon completion, where contractors blatantly do not meet mandatory requirements of the tax abatement agreement. To me, if the contractor needs such a large personal loan from the taxpayers of Albany, then the project is not a good fit for its selected location. It is of paramount importance to Albany's residents that our elected and appointed representatives carefully vet the need for such a large tax break and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt for the long-term value of such a gift in order to maintain the best part of city living, a balance between commercial and private interests that promotes the health of both entities. To do this, you need to give equal credence to both parties' concerns. Sincerely, Janet Dwyer Stutzman. Okay. At this time, I'm going to ask again, if there's anyone that wishes to speak, please hit *9 to virtually raise your hand. I believe you also hit *6 to unmute yourself on the phone. So once again, I'm just going to try and ask the person with the last 4 digits, 4693, to if they wish to speak. I know you had raised your hand previously. Okay. Chair, if it's okay, I have several more letters I can read. Again, these will all be submitted as part of the formal record.
I think you should continue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next letter is from Juliet Turner, and she writes, I am writing to urge the IDA to deny all involvement with the above project, which is on the agenda for your meeting today. The project does not add any economic value to the neighborhood. The current building on the site had 25 engineers earning high salaries. The developer on the project is creating 2 minimum wage jobs and 1 mid-level management job, resulting in a loss of employment to the city. Any jobs created in the actual construction of the building would end as soon as it is completed. There are no benefits to the community. The area does not lack housing. The type of high-density building that is proposed is more likely to have problems getting tenants in the near future as people seek detached housing in the pandemic. If the developer were granted its requested 18 years of tax relief, this would have the potential for a negative effect on the city's budget. How would that be made up? Juliet Turner. We have a letter from a George Robinson of 10 Tryon Street. And he writes, Dear committee members, I would like these comments to be included in your deliberations on August 12th, 2020 in relation to the application for tax relief from 1211 Western Avenue Property Associates, LLC. As a longtime resident of the Albany neighborhood in which the subject property resides and have an emeritus professor at UAlbany, I have followed this project from its early phases. It began as a private, high-security, luxury dormitory aimed at UAlbany students, and part of the original pitch was to parents who wanted their undergraduate offspring living at a safe distance from undesirable elements, i.e. culturally diverse neighbors. It has since morphed in its stated goals and ownership, but the overall plan seems to have changed little, including the massive tax breaks envisioned. The current IDA application is problematic in multiple ways. Those include 1, abundant evidence of conflict of interest in the purportedly independent third-party evaluation. 2, multiple errors and misrepresentations in the application. 3, poor financial condition of the developer. 4, an unresolved lien against the developer for unpaid fees. I would add to this the risk that the project will fail outright given projected future college enrollments together with the coming economic recession. The city of Albany is already hard pressed for revenues, and approval of the application would represent an unwise bailout of questionable enterprise. Other more stable and beneficial uses for the property might deserve consideration down the road, but the application in question should be rejected, and you have strong legal grounds to do so. Sincerely, George Robinson, 10 Tryon Street.
Tom, since we're approaching 12:45, I suggest maybe reading one more letter, and then we'll obviously have the rest of the letters put into the deliberations.
Thank you. So the next letter I have is from Common Council member Thomas Hoey. And he writes, Dear Finance Committee, please distribute to members of the committee. I am writing to you to reject the application for 1211 Western Avenue. It is not right that the current developer is trying to cover half the costs of the project with tax breaks on top of the many safety issues with this project, especially fire hazard. This is an ill-conceived project with only one way in and out of the building, which is Western Avenue. Western Avenue is a main thoroughfare, and the traffic congestion during construction will be tremendous. There is a pending lawsuit with this project and a requirement to bury all the utility lines, not just National Grid's lines. The amount of jobs that this project will generate is minimal, and we should not be providing corporate welfare, especially to an overseas corporation. Please, be assured we will watch this process closely, and if necessary, we'll do a full investigation. Thank you, Tom Hoey.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Okay. One last time, if there is anyone that wishes to speak today, please let us know either by speaking up or by hitting *9 on your phone, and then you will virtually raise your hand. Just going to give that one more go. I do have 4693, so I'm going to ask you to unmute. You can unmute by hitting *6 on your phone. So the person with the number 518-469-4693, you have the floor, and just be sure to hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay. And please just state for the record your name, address, and affiliation. So the person with extension 4693, I don't know if you've been speaking, but we cannot hear you. I'm just going to write the phone number down and give them a call after this meeting, and we will ask them to submit a written testimony. Okay. Is there anyone else, last call, anyone else that wishes to speak today? So if there are no further comments, I will now close the public hearing. The time now is 12:44.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to leave this and then reconnect with the Zoom login
Yes.
for the Finance Committee.